Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am BorderWise and welcome back to From the Depths, building a complete ship, start to finish. And today we're on to part 2 of the internals of this thing, and that means engines. Now, engines are friggin' complicated in From the Depths, which is saying something because the whole game is friggin' complicated, and some people are very keen on engines and they love tinkering with them and making them really efficient and clever and all that stuff. I've never been that kind of From the Depths player, so we're just going to try and keep things reasonably straightforward. And there's also a lot of options for what generates power on your craft. So if you just look here, I'm already in the fuel engine, but there's also steam engines, and you can do wacky things with batteries and RTGs and steam. You can even use custom jets. You can use custom jet generators to generate power, and just there's a lot of different options. But we're just going to go with fuel engines for this particular craft because I'm most comfortable making fuel engines to power stuff like this. And I would like to point out that if you are decent with steam engines, because weirdly enough people tend to lean either towards using fuel engines or steam engines in the From the Depths community, that just seems to be how things go. Something this big and something that's going to be as power hungry as this thing, almost certainly you would want to put a big steam engine on it because that's very power efficient. And who knows, we might end up retrofitting this so it can do that. But for now, fuel engines. So I have a fuel engine prefab. I'm just going to get rid of this arrow because we don't need it anymore. We know where the front of our craft is. It's in the opposite direction to where the air compartment is. But anyway, so we have here a prefab, which I call the Caterpillar Catarina. So it's nothing amazing, like it's not going to win any prizes ever for fuel engine design. It's just a supercharger-based... Supercharger? No, turbocharger, sorry. It's been a long time since I've built any engine from scratch. Where is the end? Where's the end? There it is. And the complete thing looks something like this. And the reason I call it the Caterpillar Catarina is because you can put as many middle bits of this as you want. And that's kind of how a lot of people end up using engines in From the Depths. They make one or two engines they really like for different purposes, and then they just prefab it, and then they pretty much never need to build an engine from scratch again. But for the purposes of this video, I am going to build fuel engines from scratch for the benefit of anybody watching this who is unclear about how to do things. So, in this particular case, we're going to, of course, start with the generator, and we're going to have crankshafts. And we are going to prefab a little bit, because that's good. So to start off with, we've got the cylinder, and we're going to have, where's it? Carburetor. Another cylinder there, carburetor there, and the turbochargers are, there's two different kinds. There's ones which attach onto cylinders or carburetors. We're gonna go with the ones that attach to cylinders because they're easy, and I'm kind of lazy, to be perfectly honest with you. And we're gonna have stuff like this, and we're gonna have exhausts in the middle here connected to these. So we should have at least one exhaust isn't externally vented, and that's probably this one because it's pointing the wrong way. It needs to be pointed out to empty air, but that's okay. So now we've done that little slice. Let's just prefab this. Prefab is good length, and for those of you who are very good at making fuel engines, I apologize for the amount of cringe that this is probably going to be, because cringe is cringe. But yeah, so if anyone is wondering, hopefully there will be helpful people in the comment section who can point out how to make this work. And just remember, this actually needs to filter out to the bottom here, so let's do that. This might just accidentally end up being different from what my prefab is. Let's do that, and I like to do this. So, by the way, fuel engines, you can use, where is it, exhausts, you can use hull pipes just fine, that works just fine. But I like to use these metal ducts, which allow exhausts to pass through. And we're going to do like so. And now you can see that is externally vented. And if we, for instance, do something like this, we are now like that. So one exhaust isn't externally vented. That's the one on the right. No worries. We can fix that. Toot sweet. We can do it like so. Like so. Like so. We probably don't even need this pipe. So let's go 1, 2, and 3, 4. And what have we got here? We have both cylinders are externally vented, and we have a smidge of power, just a smidge. And we are immediately, of course, going to put this back because we need it. Straight pipe, yes please. And this is the starting point of our prefab. Let's just compare it to what we had before. Is this... Yes, this is pretty much spot on to what I've made before, just double checking. It is awkward sometimes in From the Depths when you haven't made a particular system for a while. You don't remember quite how it works. And if you're wondering about the stats of this thing, by the way, it's okay. It's decent. It's average. It's not going to win any prizes ever. So, whereas the power per material is about 500 and then 465. I'd say that's average. It's good when it's like about 700 or so, and you definitely don't want it to be much lower than this because that's terrible. We are going to be making injectors in a hot minute, and you get to see just how horribly inefficient certain engine types can be. Just doing that. It's always embarrassing sometimes when you don't do the thing right, and it's just embarrassing when you forget to set up the exhaust properly, because then you try and make your ship go and do things. That is not correct. I forgot that the bottom hull of this is only 1 meter thick. She thick. Oh, she thick. But she's not that thick. Not on the bottom. She's thick on the sides. She's got hips rather than booty. What am I saying? Why am I sexualizing my ship already? That comes later. You must sexualize your ship when she's finished. Because, like, if you sexualize it too early, that is effectively sexualizing something that is a work in progress, and I'll let your imagination run wild, because, quite frankly, I don't like where my improv brain has led us. Okay, let's do that, and we've got that, and so now, we can start prefabbing. So let us do this, and this is basically the same as what we did before. And look at that. That is A-okay. A-okay. And now we're just going to keep going. It is generally better to have multiple redundant engines than one single massive one, but in this case, we're going to just filter this whole thing down like so. And we should have a smeg ton of engine power. And one problem with fuel engines I'd like to note is that you'll notice that this is a whole bunch of blocks, separate little individual blocks, and the AI loves targeting clusters of blocks. Even if it's not actually an option, if it's not set to that on the aim point selection of the AI, that is something to worry about. And by the way, while I'm here, one very smart person pointed out that I need an inter-vehicle transmitter. Where can I put it? I can put it right here. So, this is something I forgot. So, inter-vehicle transmitter essentially allows different vehicles to share detection information. I forgot to put that, so now I have it, and it's very, very nice. Okay, back to engines, like so, and like so. Doop, 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 doop. The other problem with engines is that they do generate heat, so that is an issue. So in this case, I am going to... What am I going to do? What's that? That's a carburetor. I'm going to do... Whoops, I did not click the button. That is a carburetor. We didn't want that. So, 1, 2, whoop. And what's that? Cylinder. Good. Good. Actually, we can't do that, so we'll just finish with the carburetor. And we're going to trim that off and make it a three-way. That's all good. That should be yes. It is, yep. Pace cooling is like so. And we're just going to stick some fuel in the back here just so this thing has fuel. Remember, the most embarrassing moments of trying to build fuel engines in the past is just remembering to have frickin' fuel. So we're just gonna, for now, stick some fuel there. Right, that'll do for the moment. Now, I want to invite all of you to look here at this right here, priority. This is important because these engines are kind of efficient. They're not amazing, they're kind of efficient, but they're more efficient than the other engines we're about to place because this thing is going to be big and expensive. It's going to eat materials no matter what, so you might as well. And but these things are going to have a higher priority than the dreadful things we're about to make. And so we are going to make these injector engines we're going to place now have a lower priority. So you can use exhaust to cool your engines, but you can also use radiators. So I would like to introduce you to one of my favorite engines, which is absolutely fantastic and terrible, the exhaustless injector engine. So this thing is basically generator, single crankshaft. It is surrounded by a ring of cylinders and injectors, and it's got a big honking radiator on top, which keeps it nice and cool. And I could actually put more radiators in there. Let's see here. Can I do that? I probably can. Actually, I do. I could do that. The reason it only has one, I just remembered, is so we can actually put them in one place. And the way you build this as well, I'm actually not going to build this from scratch because what you see is what you get. You can see it. You can see just how this works, so we're just going to be super lazy and just prefab like so. And, fun trick, if you want to make this kind of engine or anything else that uses radiators, it helps to flip it like that, because if you don't, radiators connect. So you can see here this radiator is now connected to this first engine here, and these cylinders now have no cooling. That is no bueno. We don't like that. We don't want that. But before we do that, I just remembered I need to do this. Priority is going to be -1. And then we're going to do that, and we're going to have a whole bunch of redundant engines in here internally, and they come with their own fuel, and that's lovely. So now we're going to do that, we're going to do that, and we're going to do that, and these are the things that don't usually do anything, but when they do, they give us lots and lots of power. How are we doing? We got 15,000 blocks. I did have some, at least one person say that they wouldn't be able to run a ship like this if they booted it up in game. I feel, yeah, this game unfortunately does favor people with nice, powerful CPUs. And my phone just went bzzzt. Please ignore that. Alright, so what can we do? We need even more fuel. This has a lot of power. This has 100,000 power. What are we even gonna do with all that power? What are we gonna do with all that junk in the trunk? What are we gonna do? Now, I could totally make this block more efficient, but I'm not gonna bother. I'm going to flaunt my wealth, so to speak. Alright, so let's do that. What do we got? One more of these. Look at that. Look at that. Actually, I'm going to put those somewhere else. I'm going to put them over here. Now we have more engine power than That was not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. There we go. And one more. Look at that. Alright, estimate we need a maximum of 11,388 materials per minute for fuel engines and custom jet engines. And we got 11,400, so we're good. We're all good in the neighborhood. We have more power than we know what to do with. We've got 2 honking big turbocharger engines. Oh no. Oh no. I put these in backwards. Welp. There we go. Okay. One moment while I fix my horrible mistakes. Yeah, so the tube, it's got to go in the right place. If it does not go in the right place, oh man. I'm so glad I'm leaving in my mistakes, because it would be so embarrassing if I had to edit this out. If I had to re-record. Alright, that's better. And the great thing about this basic engine setup is that it's really easy to fix. The more complicated ones, if you make a whoopsie, you need to start over from scratch. Also, how many people in the comments do you think commented before the video ended? Right, there we go, there we go. And now let's look at that. Oh, look at that! The engine is so much better now. So at 25% output, it's now really, really efficient. And it's even more efficient. So this is why you gotta memorize the numbers. Because otherwise, you will make a fool of yourself. I'm so glad I caught that. Because otherwise, I would be quite rightfully torn a new one down in the comment section. So, now we have our engine compartment, which is hidden in the hopefully most durable part of our ship, and can power an absolute monster of a defensive active defense system, as opposed to the offensive active defense system, which we all know and love. So that's basically it for that. And we are happy. We are so happy. Are you happy? I'm happy. We've got engines. Lots of engines. I want to screenshot that. I'm happy with that. I'm first going to levitate it out of the water, though. Because we can do that. We have the power. I just realized that. I'm going to need to do that again later anyway. So, we've got to save. We've got to save. So that is it for our engine compartment. We're not doing anything incredibly fancy. We've got priority 1, somewhat more efficient engines. And we've got priority 2, very powerful, not efficient at all engines. Oh, I forgot to mention. These things, horribly efficient. Look at this. So at 100%, 344.1 power per material. That's bad. Like, if it drops below 400, like, it's not gonna be good. It's not great. It's not great. Okay, now we're done. Now we're done. I'm just talking now. So, that does it for this part of building a complete ship from scratch. So, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon, or YouTube membership if you like. It really helps, and there's fun perks in it for you. Thank you to all my current supporters, and I will see you next time in From the Depths. Farewell.